this tutorial. Today we're going to be talking about number one, how to create an event within your My Awaken dashboard, but more importantly than that, how do you as a leader, as a coach, get a bird's eye view on how many people you have coming. You want to check this list about a week prior to your actual DNA class. So go ahead and check in under your own personal login. Then after you've logged in, it's automatically going to default to your campus. So at the time of this video, Bresci Ranch is my campus that I attend. If I look over here to the right, you as a leader, as a coach, are going to see the different groups that you have oversight. So I'm going, for the sake of this video, I'm just going to use San Marcos DNA 1. You would, on yours, if you're a coach over, say, DNA 1, 2, and 3, you would see all of those listed. At the first Sunday of every month, you're going to want to create an event for DNA 1. You know, one in the first Sunday of each month. And you can do this, 6 months in advance if you'd like. Okay, and the same for DNA 2 is a separate group. You would go in and create an event as I'm going to show you. And then for DNA 3, because I just temporarily added myself, you're just seeing DNA 1, but in your case you would see DNA 1, 2, and 3. So as I show you how to do this, you want to create these events. You can again go 6 months in advance if you'd like. Okay, let's get started. So I'm going to click here DNA 1, or if I don't want to go through this door, I can get to the same destination, just go through a different door. Click groups. There's 2 different ways to get to the same place. Scroll down and you'll probably, in your case, see DNA 1, 2, and 3. I'll just go ahead and click DNA 1. Okay. And then what I want to do is go to the date that I want to create the event for. We're going to use this button in just a moment. So for this video, I'm just going to say, even though there's already an event there, I can either go to add event here, or I can go over to new event. I'm just going to click add event. I'm going to say rooms and resources not needed. So we'll just go ahead and click that. I'm going to call this, you would call it DNA 1, but I'm just going to call it DNA 1, I'll just say tutorial, because in just a moment I'm going to delete this. Here you would have a quick little blurb about, hey, looking forward to seeing you. Just refer to our emails. This is what the participants would see, so you want to make sure and fill that in. It's about 2 to 3 sentences. Looking forward to seeing you at DNA 1. Can't wait to see you. God bless, or something like that. Just check the emails that headquarters is sent out and paste it into this section. Okay, and you as a coach can do this, or if you have somebody more administratively inclined that you want to assign, you can let us know at headquarters and we can set that person up as an admin and they can take care of all these things for you. It's automatically going to default to DNA 1, and then the organizer, just put in WEL and welcome team will come up. You can use that, that's fine. Now the date, very important. I'm going to just go ahead and say November 1st, 2020. Now this is probably the most important part of the video. Check-in is a big deal, because if this time is not correct, then people will get to check in and your people at the door will be frustrated because their check-in iPad or laptop won't work. So whatever time DNA starts at your campus, that's the time you need to put here in this field. So I know that San Marcos DNA is starting at 9 a.m. So that's the time I'm going to put here. Now this can communicate with that part of this platform. There's a whole nother arm to this platform with like a check-in process. I'm allowing these 2 to have the same time so they can communicate. If the time is wrong, they won't talk to each other and it's just a big mess. So make sure whoever you're training does that right. Never make this event repeat. It can really kind of turn things on their head, so make sure that box is not checked. And then that's about it. So rooms and resource not needed. DNA 1, you could put San Marcos, actually, and then you would put participants. San Marcos, actually, and then put participants there, so we know that it's a participant check-in. It's not a volunteer check-in. Those are two different. Okay, but I'm just going to put test because I want to delete this in just a moment. But all right, so then we'll go ahead and click save. Just as simple as that, we have just created our event. Now it should default to this page. If for some reason it does not default to this page, then you would just click over here to events. You want to be able to see this. So let's say it defaulted over to groups and you're like, whoa, I can't see what's on the video. Just go back to events and then go and find the event itself. We'll find the test event that we just created, and then we'll click manage event, and then under manage event we got back to this screen. Okay, now the second thing we want to show you, so we've already shown you how to create an event, and the second thing we want to show you is working with your check-in. So check-in will not work unless what I'm going to show you is actually selected. So you click check-in and then you click check-in settings, and then here there's a drop down, weekend services, whatever you see in this box. This language may change later, don't worry about it, but make sure and check whatever is in that box or your check-in will not work. And check-in is, I don't have time to tell you the importance of check-in, but people won't get the credit for going through the class. They can't sign up for other teams without going through all of DNA. It's just a big hassle if your check-in doesn't work. So please pay very close attention to this and train your team with these videos. All right, so we showed you that part. Now we're going to go over to guest list. Excuse me. So for guest list, we have a little, this basically shows you, and I'd like you to be able to see, what we want to see is 15, 20 people or more. Some saying yes, I'm coming, maybe, no. And then if you have, let's say 10, 15, 20 people that say they've not responded, then in just a moment we're going to actually download that guest list so that we can see who's not responded, and you and your team can call those people, give a personal touch, and actually invite them with just kind of a warm, courteous welcome. Okay, so we'll click sorry about that. So we'll click invite people. Now under invite people, you can do it by group or by name. Now obviously by group, you could just click there. It's showing DNA 1, but obviously this is you're not going to be able to see anything because I've went so far. It's September when I'm doing this, and this is not until November. So in this sense, nobody would show up. But if I click send now, put a little blurb here, the same little blurb we showed you at the beginning of this video. Hey, looking forward to seeing you. Whatever I change here would change what they see that I showed you on the beginning of this video. So any changes here, make sure they reflect the same language that we showed you at the start of the video. Okay, and then we would click send now. But then when we go back to the RSVP list that I showed you a moment ago, it would be blank because nobody is RSVP'd for this yet. So for the sake of this video, I'm just going to do people by name, which you will not do, but I just want to show you how a guest list would work. So let's say you were inviting Tiger Webster, and then you were inviting Alex Clott, okay, and then you were inviting Bronte, okay, and then we go ahead and click send now. All right. So those three people have an invite. I'm going to click this little back button here, go back to the event overview. I'm going to go ahead and click that. So now you can see these three people are here. Now they've received an invitation to their inbox. Hey, this is Awaken, looking forward to seeing you, but they've not yet responded. And now the purpose of this video is to show you how to look at the people that yes have responded, the people that have said maybe, the people that have said no, and most importantly the people that have not responded. And then what you want to do, and so you can assign calls to your team, is you want to go here and you want to click guest list, and then you can either download the list as a CSV, and then you could create some sort of a Google document and disseminate the calls to your team through a Google document, maybe color code it and give everybody a certain color. You call this 5, you call this 5, you call this 5 people. Or, and for the sake of this video, I'm just going to say on screen. So I'll click on screen and I'll run the report. What's awesome about this is now it shows me all of these people, and then I can just start to call through these people. If you say, well, as a coach, as a lead, I don't want to call, let's say it's 20 people or 40 people. I don't want to call all those myself. From here, you can also go here and you can export those as a CSV file, and then boom, it's gonna download those for me. I can click it as a CSV, and then I could highlight these people and then go and create a Google document from this and then share the Google document with my team. Okay, so that's a little bit about how RSVP works. If you need to go back, obviously you can go back here and have a bird's eye view. So just in review, we've covered setting up the event by going to groups, finding the calendar, creating the event. We've also covered check-in to make sure under check-in settings you've selected weekend services or whatever's in the drop-down box. And then we've also covered guest list. See how many people, most importantly, have not responded. You want to do this about a week prior to your class. You could do it 2-3 days prior to your class, because remember, we need time for people to get all of the marketing and promotion. They're going to see it on Sunday service, on the preview. They're going to get a phone call. They're going to get an email. They're going to get a text message. So we need time for people to fill out this form. And now, about a week prior, a few days prior to your event, you can go ahead and download your guest list and have your team reach out to these people and hopefully get a much fuller room. And then remember, you can do this for DNA 2 and DNA 3. And hopefully, if you have 20 people that start with you on your first class, because you're making calls and adding a personal touch, you can actually have 20 people graduate with you at DNA 3. So that's the whole purpose here, is showing you how the platform works so you can actually end up with just as many graduates as you do with the people that start in DNA 1. That's not always the case, but we feel like as we make the calls and add a personal touch, we can increase our retention rates of graduates at DNA. I want to thank you for joining me, and we'll look forward to seeing you on the next video. Bye for now.